Jai. All these devotees keep Jai. Well, today really feels like a family. Huh? What?
There's another mic there.
Oh, great.
Krishna, welcome everyone. Thank you so much. This is really a family today. Welcome to Bhava Bhakti Devi's parents. Everybody say Haribo! So auspicious to have you here. Your daughter and son-in-law are jewels of this community. We love them so dearly. And thank you everyone else to being here, all friends. I feel like today's going to be very special, intimate Bhagavata Sravana, and it's funny because yesterday Jai Nitai Prabhu was introducing me, and so today I get transcendental back at him because I get to introduce him today. And so Parastu's here. Wow, this is really Bhagavata Sravana is really happening today, everyone. Well, let's welcome Parastu. Haribo! If you love Parastu, say Haribo! Haribo! Yeah, so this is very exciting. So we love Jai Nitai Prabhu and Bhava Bhakti Devi. They are super jewels of the community and super devotees. Actually, we were just in Vrindavan, and when we were doing puja with, does anybody know Mohan at Radhakund, the priest who does puja for all the ISKCON devotees? He goes, Vrindavan is best and Govardhan is best. Radhakund super best. So we have Bhava Bhakti Devis. Today they need no introduction, but she said no. So they're amazing. Jai Nitai Prabhu served as the president of the Soho Temple for many, many years. Care at the manor. And I've been practicing Krishna consciousness for many years, both second initiated disciples of His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Bhava Bhakti Devi has also taught Bhakti Shastri and done many different services, also supporting for the GBC. And now they're here in New York City running the devotee care office. If you think that the temple newsletter and WhatsApp has been greatly improved recently, say Haribo. Haribo! That's because I'm no longer doing it and they're doing it. So they have taken it up a notch. So we welcome them to come speak for us today. Haribo!
Go away by itself.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to be with all of you. I don't know about super jewels, but anyway, in her ecstatic mood. Place is somewhere like that. So it's nice to be here with all of you. And yes, definitely seems like a family. All the usual suspects and unusual suspects are here this week, and very nice to see both of you. And please please remind me your names because I have forgotten. Rupa Nuga. Wow. Rupa Nuga Prabhu and
Krishna Bhakti Devi.
Krishna Bhakti. I think you're the super jewels. It's clear you're shining. Actually, you're wearing the same color as the personification of Narottam Anand.
I'm sorry I didn't bring any devotional clothes.
Well, I'm sorry, this is the Bhakti Center. Nobody wears clothes. Your son-in-law and Manohar Prabhu in the back. That's just because he's a brahmachari. They were going to kick It's okay. Here everyone understands your heart. So thank you for being here. Krishna Bhakti Devi, right? Okay, so we are speaking today, and today, we were just thinking how, we were giving class on this. There's so many topics, and we could have spoken on Kartik, but we thought maybe someone else will do that at some point. But I noticed that tomorrow is the disappearance day of Narottam Das Thakur, and often we don't necessarily speak about these personalities, although it's very important that we do. And we'll discuss that a little bit more. But just curious, who here knows who Narottam Das Thakur is? Who here is not really sure who Narottam Das Thakur is? Who here would like to hear more about Narottam Das Thakur, no matter how much they heard? Now that is the right answer. Finally, everyone in the room raised their hand. Okay, so I was going to start by attempting to sing a bhajan. This bhajan here, which Swa Parsada Bhagavad Viraha Janita Vilapa song number 1. And everyone knows what that is, right? Only because you see the second line. Otherwise, if I say, today we're going to sing Swa Prasada Bhagavad Viraha Janita Vilapa song number 1, you would all be like, no, you wouldn't. So this is from a book called Prarthana by Narottam Das Thakur, which we'll discuss a little bit more later, but it's better known as Jai Nitai Premadana. And anyone knows when do we sing this song usually? When on the disappearance day of acharyas or different personalities like that. So originally the song was written in Bengali, so I'll hand it over to my...
I tried it.
Oh, you've got the special mic stand.
I'll hold it like the wrong side.
Alright. So first we're going to read the English.
Oh, this one is
No, it's just a little lethargic.
So first we'll just go through the English verses. So does anyone want to read the first verse? And then
He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy, where has such a personality as Advaitacharya gone?
doesn't he have a great voice?
Yes.
Okay, Brahmani, you wanted to...
Where are my Sarupa Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopala Bhatta? And where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go?
Whoever reads next has to top.
Yeah.
It's been a progressive.
Oh, this one's the best line.
I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities?
And final verse.
Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all these devotees, in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottam Das simply weeps.
Now you have to cry.
Has anyone got any reflection on this or how it makes you feel when you just read those words? I mean,
You start crying, weeping, that's it.
yeah. I mean, when we sing it, because in London every time someone's disappearance, we would sing it. And just the haunting tune, and you don't even need to know the words. It's obviously we should know the words, but just the tune makes you feel sad in a way that someone's in separation. Like there's great emotion here from Narottam Das Thakur. It's like they say wailing, someone passes away, wailing, crying in separation of his spiritual family. So that's actually what's occurring, and he's feeling this. He's not just writing it, he's feeling separation from these personalities.
I think as time goes on, we can find it relatable, sadly, because, for example, I would feel some separation from my Guru Maharaj, who disappeared a long time ago, and then, so from there we can also relate to Srila Narottam Das Thakur and feel what he felt to some degree, to some nominal degree.
Beautiful. Anyone else? Yes.
I always feel struck when you read my Swarup Damodar and my Raghunath Bhatti Bhava. It's such a personal relationship. Like we have, it's not the right word, but there's like an ownership of the people we love. It's like, this is my love and they're gone.
Just on that point, usually, and that's very beautiful, thank you for picking that up, because usually we refer to my in relation to whom most in our lives.
Family?
Direct family. My father, my mother, my husband, my children. We feel ownership for those who are most close to us. So it's very important, very powerful. Yes.
I like 2 points. Just the I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. It's not an exaggeration. This is really how he's feeling. And just the depth of love, like not wanting to live without these personalities. And it's not a material thing, it's a spiritual thing. It's not material depression, that this is actually the highest spiritual ecstasy. And reading this bhajan is the key to the deepest spiritual emotions that one can experience in that vipralamba bhav, that mood of separation, and just the extent of crying. Like we often talk about the separation of the vipralamba from Krishna and his associates, but I find a lot of times in life that for us in the practicing sadhakas, that we can first experience those feelings in relationship with devotees, in relationship with Guru, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and that kind of attachment. And I feel like the key to attachment for Krishna is through attachment to his devotees.
Beautiful. Very nice. Yes. Okay. Was that your 2 points, or were there more inside of that?
No, that's it.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so we'll try to sing. Someone mentioned that when you hear this, you start to wail. So me singing is probably comparable to at least a wail. And you may start wailing. So actually, would you like to sing? Because you're a much better singer. You could probably play harmonium and sing it very nicely. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and sing from the wail like what? There's just one line each verse. There's about 35 more slides here.
favorite part of Bhakti Center?
Yeah, we need to improve.
Maybe something also. Okay, so.
Okay, so if you have a guest to talk today from Sri Lanka from Taco, does anyone know what Naratama means? Oh,
Best among them. Best among
best,
them.
yes. Okay, yes, I'm going to draw that out. Okay, yes. So, Nara means man or human, and Uttama meaning most elevated, most best among men. So there's 5 main points that we wanted to cover and to remember in this book, like a takeaway: family or like spiritual family, empowerment, humility, offering, and contribution.
There's so many things that can be said and so many, and we only have about 50 minutes, so that's not a lot of time. Actually, as we were singing Jai Nitai Prema Dana, I thought, actually, let's just talk about this for the rest of the time. And the fact of how we're all gonna probably face loss at some point in our life. I don't know, anyone here has had to face loss in their life? Yeah. It's a very intense thing and very heavy. But we're not going to talk about that.
So some facts about Narottam Das Thakur. He was born on the 5th of February in 1520.
Anyone here who's around 1520?
Maybe.
This one.
Probably all of us in some form.
So this was near Kateru in Bangladesh, 1 mile from Permatali on banks of the Padma River. His father was King Krishnananda Datta, and his mother was named Narayani Devi. Now his father, just to clear up, we say King Krishnananda. He was what they call a zamindar, or landowner. So they were known as kings, and they had so much, say, land wealth, as it were. So when we say king, it meant in that way someone very powerful and has a lot of land.
So I thought it'd be interesting as I was looking at this, I was thinking, what was going on in the world at the time when Narottam Das Thakur appeared? So here's a few things. What kept coming up was about Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Leonardo da Vinci carved the statue of David around this time, and Michelangelo painted the Mona Lisa, and also not long after painted the Sistine Chapel. So there was a very artistic renaissance happening in Europe. Henry VIII became King of England. Good old Henry VIII. The Portuguese seized control of Goa, and I think even in Portugal, or in Goa, people still speak Portuguese, right? And I know when I meet some Indian people from Goa, they also, not only do they know Portuguese, but many of them are also Christians, Catholics. Spanish conquered Cuba, and European printing press was created, and they started immediately printing propaganda against different things. Martin Luther, and this isn't Martin Luther King, this is his writings were burned, those of you who are familiar with Martin Luther's teachings. A smallpox epidemic killed 5 to 8 million people in Mexico around this time. And Magellan he crossed through the Magellan Strait, sailing from the Atlantic Ocean over to the Pacific Ocean, and founded the Pacific Ocean. Always blows my mind, these personalities. Huh? I found it. I was here first. Let me name it. Meanwhile, there's probably billions of people on the coast of, South America, North America, everywhere, just like hanging out, calling the Pacific Ocean, whatever. But he decided it was a very peaceful ocean, so let's call it El Mar Pacifico, because it was very calm, passive, like pacify. It was very passive. In Gaudiya history, Lord Chaitanya appeared in 1486. He took sannyas in 1510. 1516, he met with Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. And so it wasn't long after that. Remember, 1520 was the year that Narottam Das Thakur appeared. He stayed in Puri from 1516 to 1534, and then departed in 1534. So this is the life of Lord Chaitanya, and different things were happening around that time. So Narottam Das Thakur came sort of just at the end. So when Lord Chaitanya passed away, how old would Narottam Das Thakur have been? 14 years old. So, in fact, Narottam Das Thakur never met Lord Chaitanya, even though he was ready to smash his head against the rock because he had departed. So it's almost even a little bit more intense, because he knew of Lord Chaitanya. He even, we'll hear a little bit later, that Lord Chaitanya even appeared in his dream as a young man. And he wanted to meet Lord Chaitanya, and he had traveled to meet Lord Chaitanya, but by the time he started kind of going, he had already left this world, so like that. So this brings us to the topic, the first point of the 5 we wanted to make, which was around family. So, in general, most people, they say blood is thicker than water. So family is close. Even if you can't stand your family, if somebody else says something about them, immediately they become your friend. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that. People have differences of opinion with family, but immediately if something is said against them, we rise to protect family. So this principle of family, and we're discussing these things because it's actually important for us to know our spiritual family. So we have spiritual family here, and it was interesting as we came in today, we were saying, oh, it's like a family, it's like a family. And we see devotees coming together, and we feel like, they say a family usually eats together and sings together and prays together. So this is what families do traditionally. So it's good for us to know who is our spiritual family. In this song, Yelo Premadana, Narottam Das Thakur is actually singing about many people. He's ready to give up his own life for people that aren't even his family, like blood. And some of them he didn't even meet. But his connection on the spiritual platform was so powerful. And we see in this picture what people these days, I forget the name, we don't need to say it, but there's some online way that you can do some DNA test and figure out where you came from. And, I'm afraid to do that, God knows what my Mongol-like gathering is. But people do that. They try to figure out their family tree, right? So here's our family tree, coming all the way down from Krishna to Lord Chaitanya and all these different personalities. So you probably won't be able to see this very well, and I couldn't find a very high resolution, but this is a very nice Brahma-Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So this is our spiritual lineage. There is one lecture where Srila Prabhupada speaks about this from Lord Chaitanya, and he says this one was this number, that number, that number. And then he says, so I am this number, and you will be, which basically clearly denotes that the Sampradaya should continue. It's not something that stops at Srila Prabhupada. So if you look close, there's Narottam Das Thakur. He's got the little blue circle around him. So he's coming around the same time. Many of them are sort of, you could say, almost contemporaries, because they were around at the same time, but they're still spiritual masters and disciples taking shelter of one another. And then after Narottam Das Thakur, down here you see Narottam Das Thakur was in the 16th century, the 1500s, and it was the beginning of the 17th century that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was born just on the turn of the 17th century, and we often hear much about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, his disciple Baladeva Vibhushan, and then we have Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Jagannath Das Babaji is there, like that. So this is our spiritual family. And sometimes we know, I'm just curious, how many people here know something about certain family members, like your grandfather, like what your grandfather did? Yeah. Or like a distant uncle who maybe did something amazing or something great, right? No. Sometimes people know about family. Oh yes, some people are really, really into family. They know everything that's happened with every family member, and then they leave out, of course, the ones who did embarrassing things, but then they know different things about different family members. what I find more and more, especially in Western society, is people don't really know much about their family, don't even take time to figure anything out about their family. Especially the older generation, it's like, yeah, grandpa just keeps going on about the war, whatever it is, so like that. But actually we should really genuinely try to understand and know our spiritual family. So all these great acharyas, they're our family. They're our family members. So to learn about them, to understand who they are, to know what they did. When we read Krishna Lila, we should become so versed that we know, oh yes, this happened in that area. We hear Ketari. As soon as we hear Ketari, we know what happened in Ketari, who was born in Ketari, what they did, why they did it, It's like that's how absorbed in Krishna consciousness in our family we should become. So the second point to focus on was empowerment. So Narottam Das Thakur was very much empowered. Am I going too fast? Everyone's okay? People are saying wait? Yeah? Okay. So it kind of starts with Lord Chaitanya. This is one of our favorite pictures here of Lord Chaitanya. Of course, it's not directly the picture that relates to this story, but it's kind of portrays a certain visual. So it starts with Lord Chaitanya, who was doing Sankirtan with all the devotees along the Padmavati River, which is currently, was then in Bangladesh, and I think now is probably somewhere between Bangladesh and Bengal. And then, as he was doing Sankirtan, he became overwhelmed with ecstasy. And he turned and faced towards Ketari, and he started chanting
Narottam.
No. Sorry, you got it wrong. Yes, exactly. He started saying, Narottam! Narottam! Everybody can repeat that. Narottam! Narottam! Let's say it as if like you're feeling ecstasy. Narottam! Narottam! And Lord Nityananda and the party was there, and Lord Nityananda said, Lord Chaitanya, why are you calling out this name, Narottam? And Lord Chaitanya said to Lord Nityananda, he said, my Lord, when we were dancing in ecstasy, previously, you left so much of your praying. And so I have gathered up all of that praying. And I've got it now, and I'm going to put it in the Padma River for this great personality who is one day going to come and continue our lineage. And his name is? Narottam. So, of course, Lord Nityananda was like, okay, wow. He went to the Padmavati, it was the Padmavati River. He went to the Padmavati River, and Lord Chaitanya went into the river, and he put all of his praying in this river, all of this praying in the river, and he spoke to Padmavati Devi, the goddess of the river, and said to her that one day there will be a great person who comes to bathe in your waters, and you should then give him all of this praying. And she said, well, how will you know, or how will I know who this person is? And Lord Chaitanya said, because when he enters your waters, they will naturally overflow. You'll know when he enters. So like that. So Lord Chaitanya explained like this, and then it's described that Narottam Das Thakur was born, and he lived like a prince, and then at a young age he was developing attachment for the Lord, and he was hearing about Lord Chaitanya. He lost taste for going to school, which happens to many of us, and he just wanted to hear. So his father, Krishnananda, used to invite the devotees around for katha and sangha, and then at the age of 12, Lord Nityananda appeared in a dream to Narottam Das Thakur, and he told him to go to the bank of the Padmavati and to collect the gift of praying left by Lord Chaitanya. So we were just talking about Christmas, Can you imagine if Santa Claus came down the chimney and left you the gift of praying in your stocking? That's it. Lord Chaitanya left the gift of praying in the Padmavati. So he went there, and when he went for dip in the Padmavati, then immediately he was imbued with all of this prema bhakti. And after that, it's described that he had an insatiable taste for Krishna bhakti. Like nothing would satisfy him like chanting and hearing. It was just an insatiable taste. So his parents were very concerned about this, as parents are, when their children become very much attached to Krishna consciousness. But Lord Chaitanya appeared in a dream to Narottam Das Thakur and told him to go where?
Padmavati.
He already went to
Back to
Padmavati.
Padmavati.
To?
Padmavati river.
He already went there, but yeah. Went to Vrindavan, yes. He said, go to Vrindavan, and he instructed him in his dream to take initiation from? Yeah, Lokanath Goswami. Something like that.
So, Srila Lokanath Goswami is the spiritual master of Narottam Das Thakur, and he actually basically vowed that he would not accept any disciples. He's not doing that. He's not having. For Narottam Das Thakur, he had a dream, as these things happen in these pastimes, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to him and said, take initiation from Srila Lokanath Das Goswami. It's like, okay, but Srila Lokanath Goswami was like, I'm not taking any disciples. So Narottam Das Thakur, he was trying to think, how can I gain the attention or the favor of this personality? How can I actually enter, his heart, as it were? So he noticed that every night, Lokanath Goswami would go and perform his, well, it says like bodily functions. He'd go to the toilet, go to the bathroom, as it were, and this is in India, so you would go outside with the hotel with the water, and Srila Narottam Das Thakur would be in a like secret place, and when Lokanath Goswami had performed his duties and left, he would go there and clean this area with his own hands. I mean, he would clean it up, take all the waste, sweep, make it look really nice, and he would also bury, it says, the utensils, as it were, that he used to clean up, just like a broom or whatever. He'd bury it so no one would see. So Goswami couldn't see that anyone had been there or done anything. And he kept doing this. He kept going every night to do this. And eventually, Srila Lokanath Goswami noticed, this place looks really clean. It's not how I left it. Something's going on here. So he actually, one time when he went, Lokanath Goswami, he himself hid. It's not two people hiding, so he himself hid. And he's chanting and he's thinking, okay, I'm going to see what's going on here. And sure enough, he sees Srila Narottam Das Thakur coming along, physically, picking up the waste and cleaning and that. And it just like melted his heart. And in a way that, in terms of where Narottam Das Thakur came from, his own upbringing, his own, you could say, riches, his own, class, as it were. And just that he was doing that not in a way that he wants to be seen. So the service was done in a way that I don't want you to know I'm doing it. He didn't leave anything behind. He didn't leave any footsteps or put it on social media or anything. He just kept it quiet. So this actually changed Lokanath Maharaj's heart. It just became very compassionate. And out of that, despite his vow, he did accept Narottam Das Thakur as his disciple, just being moved by this act of selfless service. So lessons to be learned in this. First is humility in service. So true devotion is expressed through humility and a willingness to serve regardless of one's social status or personal pride. So sometimes just people may be given a service and maybe like, but do you know who I want service, but I'm not going to clean the pots, I'm not going to go and put the chairs away or something. But it's just his sense of just, I just want to serve regardless of what it is. and then persistence and devotion. So Srila Narottam's persistent and selfless service, even without the key point here, recognition, exemplifies how true devotion does not seek reward or acknowledgement. Guru's compassion. This story that we just heard highlights the boundless compassion of a genuine spiritual master who is moved by the sincerity and dedication of the disciple. The power of bhakti. Pure love and devotion have the power to melt even the strictest of vows, as demonstrated by Srila Lokanath's eventual acceptance of Srila Narottam as his disciple. And it's almost like, maybe not almost, I'll say it anyway, but like on a battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Krishna, when he tells Arjuna, you declare this, you declare like if you say it as my devotee, if you say it, then it will be believed. If I say it, well, Krishna's tricky, Krishna's like this, he's a naughty fella, but everyone knows I'm always going to back my devotee. So if you declare it, I'll always fulfill that, and it's really powerful, that spiritual love, spiritual bhakti, the power of bhakti, what it can do.
It was, I always thought this pastime maybe happened like a few days or something, but evidently this went on for a couple of years that Narottam Das Thakur was doing this. It wasn't just like a weekend of cleaning up someone's excrement, it was like this sort of him approaching and trying to get Lokanath Goswami to accept him within for a couple of years. So that was humility, and now the offering. So Narottam Das Thakur also made two wonderful offerings in the form of these very famous books. Prarthana, probably many of us are more familiar with. How many are familiar with Prarthana? Okay, we're back. And Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika, yeah, a few less. But yeah, so these are two books from Narottam Das Thakur.
So here we see Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, love of Godhead is very cheap, only 4 rupees. Go to the marketplace and buy Prarthana and Prema Bhakti Chandrika. That's quite a book, endorsement for a book, if I said so. And that's what that's the standard, that's what they felt of these books.
Evidently, Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, it's explained that this was the only books that he carried, and he's a Babaji, but he had these books with him. These are the only books. He didn't have like Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, he just had. And Srila Prabhupada also refers to Narottam Das Thakur's writings as the culmination and essence of all Vedic teachings. So in one sense you could say the sum and substance of everything is there. So it's very powerful.
And we have, to attain perfection in life, one must know, practice and realize the teachings within 3 books. Prarthana, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, and Upadeshamrita. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Swami endorsing in the books. And Srila Prabhupada, read Narottam Das Thakur's Prarthana. By reading it, you can understand Krishna. Otherwise, it is very difficult to understand Krishna.
So that's pretty powerful endorsement. If you don't have Prarthana, you should get it. We have a few copies here. They cost more than 4 rupees, but this is we're plugging the books. We're not selling them. I'm just kidding. So yeah, so please try to get these books. You can, I think, download the PDF easily, cheaply online version, or get them from, I think, Touchstone. We also have them. So yeah.
And this word Prema Bhakti Chandrika, it literally means the rays of the moonlight of loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. And that's so poetic, the rays of the moonlight of loving devotional service.
So here we can see this Krishna is worshipping Srimati Radharani. And then this is to sit here and look at this one? Okay, so anyone knows any of famous songs by Narottam Das Thakur? Anyone would like to name one?
That song.
The one we sang at the beginning? Are you?
I entered it. Jai Anilo, yeah, Jai. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Jai Anilo, Prema. Perfect. You weren't even here and you named it perfect. Yes. Say it again. Yes. Okay. If you have your hand raised, if you raise your hand, then I can call it. At the back, sir. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Yes. I don't have proof. Guru Vandanam. Yes. Yeah, you're giving the name. Nobody knows. What's the name? Everybody knows.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. Is it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's. But you can look it up.
That's Google G.
That's Google God. Yes. Someone else had their hand raised. Okay. Here's a few. Say again. Radha Krishna Pranamo. Yes. So Guru Vandanam, Shri Guru Charana Padma, Hari Hari Vipale. Which anyone knows what's special about that song?
Wasn't that Prabhupada's
That was Srila Prabhupada's
favorite bhajan,
favorite
right?
bhajan. Yeah.
And Yamuna Devi sang it so beautifully.
Yes, because it was Prabhupada's favorite bhajan. Nitai Parikamala. Yaneva Premadana, we said already. Radha Krishna Pranamaya, someone said. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kolo, yes. So these were just 6 that I picked out that immediately stood out to me that probably everyone would be familiar with. But we don't always know who wrote these songs. Many of our songs are, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, or Narottam Das Thakur, but maximum are Narottam Das Thakur. And if you go on KK songs, all the songs by Narottam Das Thakur, there's a list of about 40 or 50 there by Narottam Das Thakur. So there are many, many more. And Jai Krishna, what did you say? Jai Krishna. Oh, is that what it's called? Vasudev Ghosh. Oh, he wrote the song. Vasudev. Who wrote that song? Okay, so it wasn't Narottam Das. Yeah. No problem. Oh, and one more. Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. Yes, a beautiful, beautiful song. Which that will come out a little bit more later. So, so contributions. So we've had over there. I don't know if I can remember them all. So his family, the importance of family, his empowerment, his offering, humility. Thank you. Yes, and humility, and now he has contribution. So. There are 3 personalities here. Anyone knows who these 3 personalities are? You should have them in your own family photo album. Who are these personalities? Yes. Yes, beautiful. So, yeah, Jiva Goswami, although Narottam Das Thakur was initiated by Lokanath Goswami, but he took direct instruction and guidance from Srila Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan. And he was instructed to stay there in Vrindavan, and of course he was a lifelong brahmachari, so he made very good friends, especially with Srinivasacharya, but also with Shamananda Pandit, who previously was known as Krishna Das. Yes. So he made very close friends, and they used to come together regularly and hear and chant and discuss and have very deep and profound sangha. But they also copied down many, many books. They didn't have photocopiers and they didn't have the printing press then. everything had to be written by hand, and they hand wrote out many of the Goswamis' books, especially Rupa Goswami's books, and they carried them all the way to Bengal when what happened along the way? That's right, they were all stolen. So they were, because they were carrying them in these chests, and someone told, what is his name again? Virambir that, there's something very valuable, some very valuable thing is coming, so you should get it. And then he opened it, he's like, a bunch of books. But he didn't realize how valuable what he had gotten was. So anyway, that's a much longer story. But Jiva Goswami, who understood that Narottam Das Thakur was previously a prince and the influence that he had, he instructed him to go back to his village, and his village was Keturi, and asked him to go back there and to preach. And so when the books were stolen, Srinivasacharya, understanding the urgency and the instructions of Guru, told Narottam Das Thakur to go back to Keturi, so he did this. Then the books were stolen. There's a whole other pastime around that. And then he went back to Keturi, and what wound up happening in Keturi? That's right. Actually, after Lord Chaitanya had passed, the first Gauraparnim festival was held in Keturi, and that was under the auspice of Narottam Das Thakur, who arranged that. And who did he invite to preside over the affair? Janava Mata. So we won't get into any politics, but Janava Mata was the head of the entire Gaudiya Sampradaya. And at this Keturi event, which can be a discussion for another time, all different personalities and heads of the Gaudiya Sampradaya from different areas and different regions, they all came together. And then some personalities appeared magically, mystically at that Gauraparnim. Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda appeared and danced in ecstasy. So like that, their contribution actually, they were the generation just after Lord Chaitanya, like after Lord Chaitanya's disciples. So sometimes you could say that, however you term it, second or third generation, which I often think Prabhupada was here, Prabhupada had his disciples, and his disciples had that direct contact with Prabhupada, so that's very powerful. But the next generation is the big leap. How it makes it from Prabhupada's disciples to the rest, for the next so many 10,000 years, that really depends on the generation which probably many of us here represent, so it's very important. But these three personalities copied the books, and then they initiated the whole process of distributing that knowledge. So these are the 5 points.
So these are 5 points that we went through to remember: family, spiritual family, empowerment, humility, offering, and contribution. So, conclusion. Narottam Das Thakur went back to Vrindavan Dham, and he was so plunged in separation. Again, as Srinivasa had departed, so after a few days he went back to the bank of the Ganges and instructed for loud kirtan. While this loud kirtan was going on, he entered the waters and he was never seen again. It just vanished. So Narottam Das Thakur was also affectionately addressed as
Anyone knows his other name? He had another name that he was affectionately addressed as?
No.
Well, maybe someone told him, or very intimately.
There's a Srila Thakur Mahashaya, which means, right, do you know what that means? Does anyone know, do you know what that means?
Mahashaya, it's an honorary title, great personality.
Oh, marks. That's good. So Narottam Das Thakur remained with Brahmacharya his entire life. So as it is, great personalities, they come down here for their, you could say, pastimes or to carry out. I'm feeling that one. But they also have their eternal, as it were, what role as it were, in the spiritual world. So who is Narottam Das Thakur in the spiritual world? Out
Sorry.
the double points.
Yeah. Champak Manjari.
Yeah. So Champak Manjari is eternally assisting. Actually, who is Champak Manjari eternally assisting in the spiritual world? That's too easy. Come on.
It must be Rati and Rupa Manjari.
It's Rupa Manjari.
Yeah.
In her eternal service to Radha Krishna. So Champak Manjari, in her own mercy on the conditioned souls of this world, came down, appeared in the village, as we said, of Keteru in Bangladesh, as Narottam Das Thakur.
Narottam Das Thakur ki.
Jai.
So that is it. If anyone has any reflections, comments, questions, chastisements, donations?
I don't know if you or anyone else knows the answer to this question, but you know at the beginning when you were showing the disciplic succession, or Narottam Das Thakur was Krishnadas Kaviraj. But there's no record that I know of Narottam actually taking guidance personally from Krishnadas Kaviraj. So we were wondering, is it just because Narottam appeared next, or is it because, was there ever actual connection between them?
Beautiful. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Lokanath Goswami would be there, and of course Raghunath and Jiva, and he was taking direct instruction from Jiva Goswami. But around that time, and even around this time as well, there are often contemporaries, and our lineage generally, primarily is Shiksha, is not Diksha. So he came as the next kind of preeminent teacher at that point, and also in the beginning of Chandrika, there's I forget what it's called. It's called Narottam-astic, I think. Narottam-astic, written by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So then he took, the teachings of Narottam Das Thakur, and then he carried them on into the next century. So like that. So then it went. Yeah, I was really looking for lots of things, and there are certain things that are missing. It's not easy to find like a clear lineage with a timeline and scale and different things, which would be a nice thing for someone who's doing a PhD at a big university. But mostly it's Shiksha, so you can understand it's Shiksha from that although he may not necessarily, but Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also went to Vrindavan, and he was there writing at the same time that I guess Narottam Das Thakur was also there. So although I don't think it's necessarily that he took direct Shiksha from him, but as far as we know also that all of the Gaudiyas who were there in Vrindavan were regularly hearing also from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who was sharing the nectar of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Shiksha doesn't necessarily mean that you had to have that direct, but it can just be through their teachings like that as well. So that's how I would explain it. I don't know if anyone else has a different or better answer.
Well, also isn't it that Narottam Das Thakur was also a follower of Raghunath Das Goswami, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was hearing from Raghunath Das Goswami, and that was the inspiration for Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Krishnadas and Raghunath had that connection. Primarily, of course, we know as Champaka Manjari, that he was connected with Rupa Goswami in that sense. And we're all connected with Rupa Goswami because we're all Rupa Nugas.
Yeah.
So in one sense it goes back to Rupa Goswami because you don't even see necessarily Sanatana. But he was taking direct instruction from Jiva Goswami. So he was getting that instruction there. Yeah, it's one of those things that if you try to like look at it and say, oh, why is this, and like with almost material logic, you just have to understand that you can be a follower of a person that you haven't necessarily heard directly from in that sense. So, and it's not diksha. These days, most, especially within our movement, it's focused on diksha. But previously, and if you get a chance to read a book by Shivaram Swami called Shiksha Guru, it's very valuable. He was petitioned by the GBC to write that. It was meant to be a small paper. It turned out to be a very, very extensive and profound book about Guru Tattva and the principle of Shiksha. So like that. Anyone else? Anything else? No? Okay. All right. Again, the song the conch is going to blow, so we should stop here. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Sridhar Chandas Thakur ki jai. Tomorrow is his disappearance day, so we can try to meditate for
Jai Nitai, Bhava Bhakti Day. We're going to have Damodar Rocks to come now. So Jai Nitai Prabhu Bhava Bhakti will lead us in Damodar Astakam, and we'll have an opportunity to offer greetings.
Any of our guests who would like to lead? Would you like to sing? Astakam, would you like to sing?
Or Hare Prasad or Radha Bhakti.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Honestly,
Anytime.
I'm here all the time. Would you like to sing?
No,
Please sing.
we want to hear from you sing. Thank you.
So let me hear you sing. Please.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Oh, you can get one of those. Yeah, and then drop off.
Om
Bhava Bhakti Swami Prayasa
supreme controller, who possesses an eternal form of blissful knowledge, whose glistening earrings swing to and fro, who manifested himself in Gokula, who stole the butter that the gopis kept hanging from the rafters of their storerooms, and who then quickly jumped up and ran in retreat in fear of Mother Yashoda, but was ultimately caught. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances.
Upon seeing his mother's whipping stick, he cried and rubbed his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful and his breathing quick, and his mother Yashoda bound his belly with ropes. He shivered in fright, and his pearl necklace shook. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances.
To those super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna's babyhood, drown the inhabitants of Gokul in pools of ecstasy. To the devotees who are attracted only to his majestic aspect of Narayan in Vaikuntha, the Lord herein reveals, I am conquered and overwhelmed by pure, loving devotion. To the Supreme Lord Damodar, my obeisances hundreds and hundreds of times.
Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for liberation, nor eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon. My only prayer is that your childhood pastimes may constantly appear in my mind. O Lord, I do not even want to know your feature of Paramatma. I simply wish that your childhood pastimes may ever be enacted in my heart.
O Lord, the cheeks of your blackish lotus face, which is encircled by locks of curling hair, have become redder like bimba fruits due to Mother Yashoda's kisses. What more can I describe than this? Millions of opulences are of no use to me, but may this vision constantly remain in my mind.
O unlimited Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. I am drowning in an ocean of sorrow, and am almost like a dead man. Please shower the rain of mercy on me. Uplift me and protect me with your nectarian vision.
O Lord Damodar, in your form as a baby, Mother Yashoda bound you to a grinding stone with a rope for tying cows. You then freed the sons of Kuvera, Manigriva, and Nalakuvara, who were cursed to stand as trees, and you gave them the chance to become your devotees. Please bless me in the same way. I have no desire for liberation into your effulgence.
O Lord, the entire universe was created by Lord Brahma, who was born from your abdomen, which was bound with a rope by Mother Yashoda. To this rope I offer my humble obeisances. I offer my obeisances to your most beloved Srimati Radharani and to your unlimited pastimes. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki Hare Krishna, thank you all so much for coming to Bhagavata Sravana, and thank you to Jai Nitai and Bhava Bhakti for speaking so lovely, and everyone for coming. And this happens every Sunday. Next Sunday, Gaura Sharan Prabhu will be speaking on 3 ways to know Krishna, and he'll be speaking about the Damodar Leela. And also we have coming up at Bhakti Center many festivals for Kartik, including Diwali, which is on Friday, November 1st. We're expecting a very big crowd and TV coverage for that event. And so the following day, November 2nd, is Govardhan Puja. We'll also be having a festival for that event. And then the following Tuesday is the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. So we'll also have a program in the evening for Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. So all of the details are on the website. If you click on Temple, and you can also scroll down to the bottom of the website to join the Temple newsletter, and also Temple WhatsApp to receive regular messages in your inbox. So please stay. We have prasadam lunch served for everyone in the back. Stay and just soak up everyone's association. Hare Krishna. And did anybody congratulate the new person that's coming back? Come here. No, definitely. So we want to bring okay, fine. She just recently took initiation. Okay, fine. But everyone can pray in your heart. Hare Krishna. Thank you.